Darkcast Network, indie pods with a dark side.
Hey, little skeletons. I'm Gina.
And I'm Amber.
And this is Weird True Crime.
I am not sure what the deal has been lately, but I have been in one of those moods, like Limp Bizkit circa 1999 break stuff kind of mood. My 18-month-old has turned into a tiny terror as well. Something about these pandemic babies, they're like a whole new breed, I swear. Thankfully, though, I haven't had to subject anyone else to my reign of terror, and I can keep to myself and eat all the chocolate and tostadas I want.
I feel this so much. Starting a new full-time job and trying to find balance between my work schedule, personal schedule, kid appointments, and all of the other random things that life continues to throw at me has made me less than pleasant to be around. I am an asshole most of the time, but hopefully not as big of an asshole as the people who ended up on Reddit's Am I the Asshole thread, like our subjects today.
Oh boy.
First up, I just had to incorporate this one. You'll see why. So this one's titled, Am I the Asshole for Watching True Crime Videos and Podcasts? Uh-oh.
So that a little on the nose.
Yeah. So I, 24 female, and my boyfriend, 24 male, have been spending a few nights a week staying together to test run possibly living together. This is what caused my boyfriend to discover my love of true crime and horror. I often like to watch them before bed to relax, and this disturbs my boyfriend as he's not a fan of it. So I've started to listen to them with headphones on to compromise so he won't be disturbed. This, it seems, is not enough, however, as he says just knowing I'm watching and listening to that kind of thing is disturbing and how it's not normal that this makes me sleepy and is part of my nighttime routine. He has told me I should stop watching them altogether. When I told him I really enjoyed them and wouldn't be doing that, he suggested I need help as it's really weird. I've not spent any night staying over with him since then, but I really don't think it's odd that I like this. He tells me it's just videos and how our relationship is more important than that. But am I really the asshole for not wanting to give them up? So, opinion on whether or not Reddit deemed them the asshole.
Definitely not the asshole. I mean, if they're the asshole, we are the assholes too.
It's true. And also, I mean, a lot of people listen to true crime to relax at night while they're going to bed. And Reddit agreed. They deemed them not the asshole.
See, the only way that I would have said, possibly a little asshole-ish is if, like, she didn't compromise and, like, use headphones. If she was still just blasting it in his ear, then maybe. But no, he doesn't have to see it. It's just the fact that she does it that bothers him, not the asshole.
I mean, I'm sure that he has habits that she doesn't necessarily love either, but that's what makes him happy. And in a relationship, you support kind of what the other person enjoys as long as it's not negatively impacting you. So sounds like they need to work on their communication skills and compromise. And he needs to learn to let it go.
Or he'll end up on one of our
next episodes. Yeah, for sure.
Now, the next one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Turning in My Friend for a Crime We Both Did?
Oh, okay.
About a year ago, a friend of mine, Jay, and I were having a sleepover. Like most teens, we were staying up all night and we got bored of playing games while trying not to wake up my parents. Jay and I decided we should go outside and do something fun. Our neighborhood is a pretty safe place to live, and it was about 2 a.m., so everyone was asleep. Jay and I had recently been really into doing art together, and I had taken up spray painting. Jay came up with the idea that we should walk to the abandoned house in the neighborhood and spray paint it. I was hesitant at first, but Jay assured me it was fine since no one was living there. I realized that was a mistake now. I grabbed my spray paints, spray shield, we only had one, so we decided to take turns, and put on a coat. Then we started walking. It wasn't long before we came up to the house. All the shades were drawn and it was pretty dark, but Jay set up her phone so the flashlight lit up the side wall. We started writing and drawing. I don't even remember what we wrote, but it was pretty big. At one point, I had gotten pretty tired and decided to take a break. I handed the shield to Jay, and she kept painting while I took a break. Finally, we were done with our masterpiece, and we were both pretty tired, so we packed up and went home. About a week after that night, I was busy doing homework when there was a knock at the door. My mom opened it, and an officer was at the step.
Oh.
He looked a bit like the dad from Shark Tales, and it kind of intimidated me. We let him in, and he asked to speak with me in private. My parents left the room, and he sat across from me at the table. He started off by introducing himself, police officer, and asked me if I knew why he was there. I shook my head. Police officer said he had a video of me from a week before with me, who he had identified, and someone else vandalizing somebody's house. I stayed quiet, so he continued. He said he could only identify me because the other person, who had been currently spray painting, was wearing the shield. He then proceeded to make me a deal. If I told him who I had been with, he would let me go with just a small fine. I thought about this for a minute or two. The officer thought Jay did all the work, so if I gave them Jay's name and got away with it, I wouldn't technically be lying. After thinking for a bit, I decided to tell the officer that Jay was the person in the video with me. Jay ended up having to pay a hefty fine for trespassing and vandalism, while I barely paid half the amount. I've been feeling guilty about this for a while, so I decided to bring this to you guys. I will say I felt a bit pressured to spray paint with Jay, but I feel that wasn't the best thing to do. Am I the asshole? What do you think?
Oh, God. This one's hard because they obviously had conflicting feelings about it from the very beginning. But, I mean, yeah, they're kind of an asshole for pinning all the blame on their friend when they were doing it too. So, yes.
The people of Reddit deemed the original poster as definitely the asshole, but pointed out a few things like the poster was young, dumb, just a kid at the time, and they make mistakes, but also that they should never talk to police without a lawyer present, guilty or not. Lawyers were formally educated on how to talk to and handle the police. Young kids are not.
Yeah, that makes a good point. But even as like a parent, if you have a cop coming into your house and they want to talk to your kids, one, how old was this kid? Because they shouldn't have been allowed to talk to a cop without parents present to begin with. Yeah, so there were some questionable tactics happening there anyway. People do say things to cops that they wouldn't necessarily say in other situations, given the pressure that they're under. But yeah, I mean, still the asshole for turning on their friend, but young and dumb for sure.
Yep. Live and learn. Hopefully.
Maybe. Am I the asshole for getting my boyfriend arrested? Oh, that sounds like a great relationship. I'll just get straight into it. I'm a college student, and this is my last semester until medical school. I've never been able to get a loan, and I've worked 5.5 years to get this degree because I have to pay out of pocket, so it takes way longer. I've worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs at a time and barely had a social life. For this upcoming semester, I reached my goal for tuition, so I quit one of my jobs so I could relax a bit. I was a server/bartender at 2 bars and an office job, so I've always hidden cash in my apartment in my closet in a box, and before the semester starts, a week or 2 before I deposit it so I can pay my tuition. My boyfriend sometimes stay over while I'm there or when I'm not. Since I've been saving for the semester, he's the only one who's been over, and I've never told him about the box, but he knows I have to pay for school. Well, yesterday night, I get home to put money in the box because I was going to deposit it today, and it's all gone. I freaked out and tore my apartment up thinking I put it somewhere else, knowing I didn't. I called my boyfriend like crazy and no answer. I didn't sleep last night. I was panicking. Then this morning, he finally calls me back. I'm yelling at him about my money. He's acting all confused and like I'm crazy. He comes over. I'm still pissed off, and after a while, he finally admits that he took it so he can borrow and he'll pay me back. Where the fuck is he going to get $14,000 from in 2 weeks? That's a lot of money. I went into a rage and called the police and reported a theft because this is what he did. Well, it's been hours now. I guess he got his phone call because his family has been blowing my phone up and his mother has said some really hurtful and racist things to me. Wow. They've been harassing me for the past 6 hours now. It's stressing me out even more, and I hate that I'm feeling bad for him, but he stole my money that I've been saving for months. His brother did call, and he was respectful and said they'll help him pay it back, and I should just go to the police station with him and tell them I want to drop the charges, but I really don't believe them. I could do that and never get my money back still. I don't know what to do, and I hate that I'm contemplating doing this. I'm just really pissed off and have been crying all fucking day. Asshole or not.
Wow.
That's a lot to process.
That is a lot, but no, sorry, not an asshole.
No.
Yes, press charges, get his ass arrested. That is a ton of money.
Yeah.
And he didn't come to her and ask to borrow the money. He took it without her knowing. And knowing that she was going to flip out. So,
and knowing that she
definitely
needs
not the
it
asshole.
To pay her tuition for school, and that she works her ass off.
Working her ass off.
Oh, wow. So the people of Reddit agreed, also not the asshole. The boyfriend is the clear asshole in this scenario and a fucking thief. I mean, come on. Some comments were even sprinkled in about how the original poster did not get her boyfriend arrested. His dumbass decision to steal $14,000 from her was what got him arrested. She merely reported the facts. Lots of people also assured her to not drop the charges and to let the DA know that his family has been harassing her. I 100% agree. And
yep.
Also, yes, I hope that he is hopefully now her ex-boyfriend, because you should not put up with anybody who treats you that way or steals your shit.
Nope.
That is awful.
Unacceptable.
Wow, what a shitbag. Okay.
The next one is interesting, titled, "Am I the asshole if I never told my daughter a crime was committed in her room before we moved in?"
What?
Before we moved into the house, there was a double homicide in the room my daughter picked out. The crime was about 9 years before we even moved in, and there were no traces about it in the house. Got renovated in the time between. My wife and I knew about it, but we never really told them since we're not superstitious and didn't want to spook them or anything. I don't know how, but my daughter ended up finding out about it. She's very, I don't know the word, but I guess religious or something. She believes a lot of stuff that I'm not sure about, but she actually called me and my wife about it, actually crying during the phone call about how it messed her up for life and that she saw so many weird things in the room when she was a little girl and things like that. Am I the asshole?
In my opinion, yes, because one, you bought a house where there was a double homicide, and that's like kudos to you if you really don't see a problem with that. But like, I think they are an asshole, and I think they're an asshole now for just blowing off their daughter's feelings and being like, oh, I guess she's religious or something, because she's saying she was fucking haunted as a child because she slept in a room where there was a double homicide. So, in my opinion, they were an asshole then, and they're an asshole now. Just
okay then.
Yeah.
Well, Reddit said not the asshole.
Whatever, man.
The original poster edited to say that the daughter was about 9 years old when this all went down, and she's now 31. A lot of people commented that her knowing back then at such a young age probably wouldn't have had much more of a negative impact than finding out later in life. Finding out at a young age, I mean, she was going to throw a fit and demand they move or something. Like,
why don't they just let her choose a different room? Or like,
maybe they couldn't. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm sorry, but it's like, did she ever say anything to them while they were living in the house about seeing or feeling weird things? Because
I don't know.
I have more questions here. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, you do.
growing up in houses where weird things happened, I feel like you shouldn't just blow off those feelings from a small child. But whatever, Reddit.
See, I'm the polar opposite from you. It wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have bothered me at all.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't like it wouldn't have bothered me. I guess I think they're an asshole in the way they're handling it, if anything, with their child. They're just like, whatever, like, get over it. It's like, I don't know, just hear her out, man. But to each their own. Our next story is a little bit different than the rest we've read so far. Would I be the asshole? Side note, I had no idea what WIBTA stood for, and I spent just like 2 minutes staring at it trying to figure it out, but I did it. So would I be the asshole for not visiting my father in prison because it might affect my career prospects? Okay.
All right.
Yeah. My father is currently serving time in prison for a crime he committed, and I have been struggling with the decision of whether or not to visit him. I have a public-facing career in a field where people need to see me as somebody they can trust. On one hand, I feel guilty for not visiting him and providing support during this difficult time, but on the other hand, I am concerned that being seen visiting him might harm my reputation and career opportunities. I have weighed the pros and cons and have ultimately decided not to visit him in order to protect my career. Now I'm wondering if I'm the asshole in this situation or if I am justified in my decision to prioritize my career over visiting my father in prison. Are they the asshole or not?
I would say asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yes, your career is important, but if you have some sort of career that you're going to be like in the public eye like that, they're going to find shit out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in trying to hide it.
I agree. I mean, and it's still, I don't feel like and I know this is true in a lot of cases that like people, especially in the public spotlight, get judged for who their family is, even though that's really nothing they can do about, there's nothing they can do about it. But yeah, I agree that they're the asshole for putting themselves and the way they're perceived above their family. So yeah, definitely the asshole. You're like, that's not me. Okay. So, Reddit agrees that they are the asshole. One commenter said that if people need to see them as somebody they can trust, then hiding the situation is only going to make them look more untrustworthy. Totally agreed. Some commenters said that the only time they could see it being an issue is if their father committed a crime involving children and the original poster was a teacher or something, then it could be viewed badly. But if that was the case, then the poster shouldn't have a desire to visit anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if the dad's in jail, prison, locked up for truly, truly awful, terrible reasons, then yeah, you're not going to want to go see daddy anyway. So
No, I think that's another point is like, what are they in there for to begin with?
yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another one that's super on the nose for us around here, titled, Am I the asshole for angrily telling my wife to quit watching true crime docs?
Oh, no. Is this me?
My 32 male wife, 32 female, has recently started watching true crime documentaries to pass time. At first, it was completely normal, but she started getting extremely sad / on edge for like 2 to 3 hours after watching any documentary. She complained about feeling like this many, many times after watching true crime, and I calmly suggested for her to stop watching them at all. Not only was it making her sad, but I also had to deal with her being extremely mopey and scared every time she watched a doc, for a long amount of time and frequently. Today she complained again, and this was sort of the last straw for me, and I raised my voice saying, "Then stop watching those damn documentaries. You know you get emotional and scared." I immediately apologized for raising my voice, but she called me an a-hole for acting like she's a teenager who can't handle watching that sort of stuff. I know I shouldn't have yelled, but am I the asshole for telling, not suggesting like I've done in the past, her to stop?
No. And I say this from personal experience because I also tend to get a little down if I've been researching or listening to too many true crime documentaries or reading too much stuff when we're working on the podcast. And it does impact your mood. And my husband has said, hey, like maybe you should give it a rest and listen to something else for a while, do something a little more upbeat, because I can tell that it's impacting you right now.
Yep.
And he's seeing a trend here. And I don't think he got snippy out of like rudeness or meanness. I think he's frustrated because he cares about her and he's seeing how it impacts her. And he's just tired of telling her the same thing and seeing it over and over again. So no, I don't think he's the asshole.
Exactly. Reddit stated, not the a-hole here too.
Mm-hmm.
Many true crime lovers also commented and said that even though they love it themselves, like, you just said, like we do, that they would have told her the same thing. One commenter said, quote, not the asshole. Fully agree with this. I fall asleep to true crime docs and the Reddit thread Let's Not Meet stories, so clearly I'm dead inside. If it's giving you extreme anxiety, just give yourself a break, end quote. It's perfectly okay not to be dead inside all the time, like me apparently, and to need a break.
You are not dead inside all the time because you also play video games and stuff that are not true crime related at all. So give yourself some more credit, even though you are fully wearing skulls right now, okay?
Shh.
You are still a cheery person. It's okay. This last one cracked me up, and I think it's a really good note to end on. Am I the asshole for blatantly pretending my roommate... Sorry, I can't even... Okay. Am I the asshole for blatantly pretending my roommate doesn't exist because of her, quote, robbing prank, end quote? I don't know what that means, so I'm curious. Okay. I, 20 female, live in a very safe city, one of the safest cities in the nation. Due to this and lack of parental regulation as a kid, I never locked my doors. Yikes. Lock your doors. I don't care where you live. Just a side note. Okay. I drive a Wrangler and take the top and doors off and have never had a problem with stealing. I've never locked the doors to my houses or apartments. This has never been an issue with my old roommates or family. It's just the way I've developed. My roommate, 19 female, since moving in, has increasingly become more paranoid and anxious. I've known her for years, and I've never seen her like this. She thinks there are cameras in her sink. If she gets a bug bite, she assumes she has bugs living in her bed. When she sleeps, she has paralysis where someone comes in to kill her. She locks her bedroom door and front door for safety. Knowing this, I've tried to lock the door. However, I don't sometimes. It's a habit I'm trying to break. I came home a week ago. There was shit everywhere. It looked like a mini tornado whirled through my apartment. I went in my room and my TV was gone. My mini boba fridge was gone. All my vintage Playboys were gone. So much of my clothes vanished. It was clear through my eyes that I had been robbed. I sat on my bed and just sat there in shock. On the verge of tears, I called my father, who didn't pick up, and I was left defeated, practically. Then I jumped up because I was worried for my roommate's room. She was sitting there waiting for me. She had all my things in there, pranked me to try to teach me a lesson about locking the door. My problem is that she never even talked to me. I had no idea this was an issue with her before. She said I should have assumed that I need to lock the door out of respect for a shared living space. After trivial arguing, I shut the fuck up and went mute, grabbed all my stuff to put in my room, and I've completely ignored her since. I'm upset and not over it. I find her thought process alarming and delusional. A mutual friend says that I'm overreacting and being rude to her when she's going through a hard time. As much as I understand that she's having problems, I've received zero empathy or question of my feelings. I don't think I'm an asshole. I think everybody's out of their minds and I need some time away from the crazies. Are they the asshole or not?
Oh God, where to start with this one? I see both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's two very opposite people living together. And they collided and did not communicate, and all hell broke loose. I don't think that the original poster is an asshole for giving the silent treatment, I wouldn't say asshole. I'd just say maybe 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Put on your big girl panties and deal.
Right.
So I wouldn't say technically an asshole, but I think they're both stupid.
They're both stupid. And I think her roommate obviously has some issues going on that need to be addressed. I don't think that the way she handled it was correct. And if you're not communicating with each other, there's no way that one person can know what the other person needs, even in a roommate situation. It doesn't matter what type of relationship it is, there needs to be communication there. So I don't think either one of them is the asshole. I think that they're really young and immature, and one person doesn't understand basic common sense when it comes to safety and needs to work on that. And the other one needs to seek some help, it sounds like. So it seems the people of Reddit came to the conclusion that everyone sucks for this, which is kind of like what we think.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah. The roommate thought it would be just a harmless prank and that it would get the message across and they'd laugh it off and move on. But the original poster was more frustrated over the lack of communication, which is what I was saying, and the damage inflicted on some of her stuff in the process of the prank. The original poster did later edit and comment, "I forgot to mention that yes, I have talked to her. She said that she thought I would think of it as a silly prank and laugh about it when I saw all my things. I didn't take it that way, though. I talked to her and asked why she wouldn't just ask me one time to be more aware of locking the door every time, which I know shouldn't have to be addressed, but that it would have been a necessary action before stealing all my things, ripping a few of my posters, making the house a mess, which, by the way, she made me clean up." Ugh. As her way of telling me to do better. I apologized for my stupidity and naiveness. I don't believe in bad people. This has actually been a problem I've always had. Anyway, she apologized too and will be giving me some compensation to help pay for the damage she gave me in the process of this prank. Well, okay, that makes her a little more of an asshole knowing that she actually destroyed some of her belongings in the process.
Yup.
And then made her clean up the mess?
Yup.
Wow.
Yeah, that's...
Maybe,
oh, boy.
Maybe get new roommates.
Maybe you need to just go your separate ways.
And that's our opinion on that. And that concludes our roundup for this What the Fuck Wednesday. It makes me curious to know if any of our dear listeners have ever wondered if they're the asshole or been on the receiving end of an asshole. That sounds really funny, but you know what I mean. Reach out to us if you've ever dealt with a situation similar to these people. Before we say goodbye, we're going to read another review from an awesome listener. CJ Lamb 12 entitled their review, quote, more, and gave us 5 stars. They wrote, Gina and Amber do an excellent job researching and presenting cases without a bunch of goofy banter. A must listen for those into crime, weird crime. If you are as in love with the podcast as CJ, leave us a 5-star rating and review. On an app that doesn't allow reviews? No biggie. You can just email it to us at weirdtruecrime@gmail.com. We'll be sure to give you a shout out on a future episode.
And to get even more episode content and fantastic memes, follow us on Instagram. We're pretty active over there and love talking to our listeners. Oh, we have big news. We have a Facebook group. It's called Weird True Crime Podcast Group, and you should definitely join it so you can chat with us and other members of the true crime community. You can find the links to all of our socials and the group in our show notes.
Until next time, stay safe.
And make good choices.
Bye. No!
Oh, he just
Hush.
ran in there to yell at you.
That's Pickle. Hush.
Oh, Picklehead.
No, now she's holding Spider-Man and barking. No. If she gets a bug bite, she assumes. Anyway, she apologized too and will be... My God!